In today's tutorial, I'll be teaching you a simple method, the easiest method I know of making beaded handbags, 4x4 beaded handbags. I call it the simplest because that's what I use most times and that was how I learned. It's very easy to learn, and once you get it, then you are good to go. So let's start with our materials. We'll be needing our beads. I'm using size 10 sugar beads. This method works for any type of beads at all, round beads, square beads, any type of beads at all. It works for it. Then I'm using my fish line. I'm using a 0.7 mm fish line, and of course my cotton. Now we start by putting 3 beads into our fish line, and then we cross with 1 bead to make a ring of 4 beads. So put 3 beads into our fish line and then cross with 1 bead to make a ring of 4 beads, just like this. So this is what I have, my first ring of 4. Then we continue by putting 1 bead on our left fish line and another bead on our right fish line. Then we cross with 1 bead to give us our second ring of 4. Cross with 1 bead to give us our second ring of 4. Just like this. So now I have my second ring of 4. On the third ring, we are going to be crossing to start another row of 4 rings. So to do that, we put 2 beads on any of the fish line. You can use the left or the right, but most times I use my right fish line. You put 2 beads on any of your fish line, then you cross with 1. So here I put 2 beads in my left fish line, and then I'm crossing with 1. Fish line is very long, that's why I'm having issues. So now this is what we have. We have 3 rings of 4, 1, 2, 3, and then this is what we need for now. So we are going to continue by making a second row of the same 3 rings. We do that by putting 2 beads. This is what I have, this is what you have now. So we start our second row by putting 2 beads on this upper fishing line, this one that is away from the work, this upper one. Then we cross with 1. So you put 2 beads, then you cross with 1. So this is what I have now. I've successfully crossed and I'm on my way to start my second row. So I'll continue the second row by putting my right fish line into this next bead. Then I'll put 1 bead on my left fish line and then cross with 1 bead. So this is what I have now. This is my second ring on the second row. Now I'm going to make my last ring on this row, and on the last ring on this row again, I'm turning. So to do that, I'll put 1 bead on this my upper fishing line, this one that is away from the wall. I'll put 1 bead on this fishing line and then cross with 1. So with this, I've successfully completed my second row. Now continue by beading the third row. And to do this, just like we did, you put 2 beads into the fish line away from your work. Put 2 beads into this fish line away from your work, and then you cross with 1. So for this method of making bead bag ado, we are just going to be having 3 rings per row. So now this is what, after crossing, this is what I have. So we continue building this row again by putting our fish line. Permit me to flip this so I can be comfortable. Put our fish line into the next bead. Put our fish line into the next, our right fish line to the next bead. Then we put one bead on the left fish line, and then we cross with one. So now this is the second ring on this third row. Then we proceed to make the last ring. Remember that on the last ring we are crossing to the side. So you put one bead on this fish line away from your work, and then you cross with one bead. So now I've completed my third ring. So the trick to using this method in making your beaded bag handle is that each row is going to have just 3 rings. So no matter the number of rows you are building, is good that this 3 is just going to be constant. So now the number of rows you will have will depend on how long you want your handle of the bag to be. I'm using this handle for this bag now as our reference. By the way, there's a tutorial. I'll be dropping the tutorial on this bag soon after dropping this video, so you can go and check it out. So for this bag now, my handle is, let me count the number of rows I have in the handle. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 17. So I have 17 rows for the handle of this bag. Now because we are making our handle separately, I'm going to take out these 2 because these are the 2 I used to, the bag ended at this point. So this is the bead I used to join the handle to the bag. So I'm taking out these 2. So that means I'm making 15 rows. My handle then will be 15 rows. Then I'll be joining the handle to the bag with these 2. So now if I want to replicate the handle for this type of bag, I'm going to make 15 rows by 3. I don't know if you understand. Let me explain that again. Now because this is the handle of my bag, I'm using this as an example. Now I'm going to have 15 rows by 3. So if you want a handle that is longer than this, maybe your bag is a bit bigger than this and you want a handle that is longer than this, then the only thing you need to increase is just the number of rows. So you can have 20 rows by 3, 25 rows by 3, 50 rows by 3, depending on how long you want the handle of your bag to be. So now let's continue. I'm making 50 rows of this. So I'll continue by, just like we've been doing, you put 2 beads on the fish line away from your work, then you cross with 1. So just continue building the rows. Remember, I'm making 50 rows at this point. So I'm going to continue and make my 15 rows, then I'll meet you when I'm done with the 15 rows. So now I'm done with my 15 rows. I have 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 by 3. So as I said earlier, the number of rows you will have depend on how long you want the handle of your bag to be. If you want it to be shorter, you can make it shorter. If you want it to be longer, you can make it longer. Just check how long you want. You can check like this, fold on the bag you want to face the handle like this, then just know how long you make the handle of the bag be. So now that I'm done with my 15 rows, I'm just going to hide my line by passing it through the body of my work. Then I'll tie and cut off at some point. So as you are hiding your line, as you're passing it through the work, make sure you are drawing it to be very firm. So I'm just going to go ahead and do this. Then I'll come back when I'm done. So I'm done, and now I have my 3 by 15 mats. The next step now is to fold our mats just like this. So you just fold it like this into a tube, just like this. So this is what you should have after folding. And now after folding, the next thing is to now join the ends, our folded ends together. Just close up this space and then our handle is made. How do we close up? We close up by inserting our fish line into this bead at the corner. Then we put one bead into our fish line and pass it through here. Then we cross with one. So you put your fish line into this bead at the corner. This first, you can start from either side. This bead here. Then you put one bead. And then you pass your fish line through the other bead at the other corner. And then you cross with one bead. So this is what you have after crossing. We close up this part. We've closed up this part already. Then you continue by putting your right fish line to the next bead by your right side. Then you put your right fish line to the next bead by your right side, and then you cross with one bead again. So we are going to continue this process of inserting our right fish line into the next right bead, the left fish line into the next left bead, and crossing with one until we completely lock the whole tube. So I'm just going to do mine off camera now, and then I'll meet you when I'm done. So I've successfully closed up the two edges of the bag, and now I'm done with my handle. So like this now, the next thing that is left is just for me to attach the handle to my bag. So very simple, very easy. This method I use for making my beaded bag handles. So we are done with this tutorial. If you have any question, please don't hesitate to drop it in the comment section. I'll be answering all questions, and if there's any other tutorial you'd like me to do, please drop it in the comment section too. So thank you for watching. If you've not subscribed yet, kindly subscribe so you don't miss out on my other tutorials.